What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. I wanted to continue the comparison between the C10 and the Enduro 24 just to cover a few more things, because the Enduro 24 is not a horrible purchase, I guess. If the SCX24 didn't exist for the same price, then it's probably a pretty good buy. But I just wanted to let people know that, in my opinion, and it's all my opinion, that the SCX24 is way more customizable, way more capable down the road. Out of the box, they're pretty similar, and the Enduro 24 actually fares pretty well. It's just when you get to that point of wanting more, you want more power, you want more weight down low, you want more clearance, that sort of thing, that I think the Enduro is going to struggle. So if you've picked up the Enduro, like, it's not a horrible decision. You'll have fun with it. I just probably wouldn't go to like 2S, LiPo, and that sort of thing. But it'll trail along fine. I still think it needs more clearance. The pumpkins on it are huge, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I wanted to show a few things like that, get some measurements between the two, and do some inclines and some flex and that sort of thing, and just let people see that side of it. I'm more of the grab it and throw it on some rocks, or throw it on my little indoor course here and see how they perform, that sort of thing. But it's nice to know, these other specs, I guess you could say. So let's check out some of the stuff. And before I start, don't make fun of my little redneck, you'll see my redneck ingenuity here for my incline test and that sort of thing. I don't normally measure this type stuff. I throw it on some rocks and see how it does. But I guess it's kind of important to know this stuff as well. So let's check it out. Okay, so like I said, don't make fun of my my little setup here. I don't normally do this. First time I've ever done this with any of my trucks, honestly. Like I said, I'm just more throw it on a rock and see what happens. So I get this little app, I guess, that measures this incline. So that looks about like, what, 40 degrees? Okay, so C10 at this 40-degree angle. Both of these ran on my indoor course yesterday, which is like a grout, concrete type texture. So the tires are both kind of coated in a little bit of dust, but they've not been on like the dusty floor, that sort of thing. So they're both probably a little bit slick from the dust off of my course, but it's pretty fair comparison. So right here at this angle, C10 won't really grab and go. It wants to, but if you get a little run up to it, eventually it'll bite and it'll take off. Okay, and then it'll ease back down pretty nice. So let's try the Enduro. Same angle. Of course, it's not going to go like that either. Oh, that touchy throttle, I can't even put it where I want it. It's so hard to slow crawl with this. It just needs more power. It could probably do it with more power. Yeah, it's not gonna make it up that. Let's see. Let's try to get some of the dust off the tires, maybe. Or you can put a little WD-40 on them, let them set for a while. They'll get tacky. You wouldn't think WD-40 would be good, but it works well. Okay, it just don't have the power there. So let's move this down a little bit and see what they can basically straight crawl. Okay. No run, just take off and go. Okay, that's probably pretty good. So we just went down a couple of degrees there, 38, and it was able to run up it with no run. The thing about it is you can see how I can ease that back to starting point. I have a hard time doing that with the Enduro. Okay, so that's not a fluke. All right. 38. So let's see what the Enduro can do. Oh, come on. Nice. So it made that. So that's really good for the Enduro. Because honestly, it's lacking power, so it's not spinning as fast as that C10 is. So that's a good climb. I feel like the tires help it a lot, but that's good. A little bit harder to get that smooth throttle. See, it just sometimes it just like takes off. Like I'm trying to back up here, and it just goes. See how it just like instead of easing back, it's nothing, and then it just jumps. So that's kind of a aggravation of mine with this truck, but anyways, it did well on the climb here. It really did. So, like I said, not a horrible purchase. It's capable. One thing I was talking about the pumpkins there. See how big that is? And I'll get into that on the bench. Those lights are going to blind you. You see the pumpkin on this one versus that clearance is what hurts you on the rocks. And I'm going to measure the clearance there so everybody can get an idea as well. Okay, so I tacked on a piece of this yoga mat. It was laying around. I used for on my workbench basically. Give it a little bit of traction. If you can't see that, that says 42. So let's see what it'll do. Okay, so it made it all the way up. Let's try the Enduro. I think these tires are really going to grab on this. Right up it. Okay, let's take this up a little, because the Enduro's kicking butt right here. It's at 44. So it's really showing off the stock tires. $47. Very impressive. $49. Okay, we're having problems with the approach angle there, but it's lifting that right front tire completely off the board there. But it's almost pulling it to the top. Oh, all right. So look, just to compare, C10 is not going to go anywhere here. It's not even going to start. Same thing with it. The bumper's hitting in the rear. These tires won't even hold it on there. Okay. So the Elements grips are nice. Sort of similar to these Rock Creepers. Wonder what this truck will do. So the C10 with some better tires does really well also. It went up that pretty easily. That's pushing 50. $52. Just so you can see that. All the way to the top. Back down nice and easy. Wow. Okay, that's... I didn't even know this little truck would do that well. 54. All right, so 52, 53 is about the max for this. Well, it's dragging that rear end. If that rear don't catch, it's still pulling it. Pretty impressive in my opinion, y'all. It's really impressive that this out of the box was doing as well as it did. Trying to keep that bumper off that rock, give it a chance. It's not going to pull that. This does really well out of the box. You've seen it. The C10, these stock tires, which I said all along, they suck. These rock creepers, you put some rock creepers and a little weight. And that's just kind of what I'm getting at. The only reason I'm putting this truck in here is because you can do all of this stuff to it. It has weight in the front, weights in the wheels. I don't feel like this truck is going to handle all that weight and the bigger, well, these tires really aren't that much bigger. You might get away with those tires, but it's not going to handle that weight. It's going to break. It's just crazy. This truck's pretty well balanced. All right, let's move on to something else. And y'all thought my last setup was bad. I basically just found anything I could find laying in the garage. This was over on the crawler course, laying up in the back of the Yoda. Okay. So let's see what this does here. So what I'm going to do is drive up it until the back tire barely comes off my mat here. A little bit. It's like that. Basically, you can just get the paper under there. That's kind of a bent piece of paper, but you get the point. It's actually a sticker. That's why it's doing that. Okay, so right at the front of the tire, about right there, for the C10, that just amazes me how much flex you get there. The element, it is past the C10. I don't know if you can see that, but the tire's moving just a little bit when I'm hitting it. So it's going under there just a tad and hitting it. It did go a little farther, which is a plus for the element. So, I mean, it's not much. This was the C10. This is the element. So, a little bit more flex out of the box. With a little work, though, you know, you can change that easily on the C10, because like I said in my other video, you can move the shocks down and get longer shocks actually, and get more. With this truck, it's a little bit harder. I'm going to try to move the servo to see if I can get more, because what limits it here are the arms. This being connected to the servo, like I said in the other video, if you try to drop this axle, you can't. So you're kind of limited there. But out of the box is what I'm trying to do here. The winner really in both of these tests is the Element. So I'm trying to give this thing some credit. Out of the box, it's probably a little bit better. I think a lot of it has to do with the tires. It'd be interesting. I might throw these tires on the C10 just to see what it'll do. Y'all let me know if you'd like to see that. Okay, so you can see the line here that the Element made it to. It's worth noting that a little bit of wrench work moving these front shocks from up here down to here. I'm driving these up because I just didn't feel like putting the battery in and all that stuff. So but the C10 is right there with it just by moving the shocks. You can see, so basically the same amount of flex out of the box with a tiny bit of work there. And then it just gets better as you add longer shocks and that sort of thing. Anyways, not a big deal. Just thought that was worth mentioning. You've seen, better tires on the C10. I'm curious what this Jeep, somewhere in there probably. So that's longer shocks and moving them in. Like I said, you can gain a lot. C10, Enduro 24, the Jeep with the longer shocks and shock movement. So, but anyways, we're not comparing that. It's these two. The winner in this is the Element. So, a couple little pluses for the Element. Like I said before, it's not bad out of the box. It's just when you try to mod it, you're not going to get a lot. Let's check some measurements. Okay, so the clearance up front here, a little bit harder to show on camera. So I thought I would go stacking these quarters up and just driving over them. I put the tape on there to cover the light so it wasn't blinding the camera. And let's see. Okay, clears that stack. Try to add another one. I don't think it'll do it. Okay, so it's not going to clear that. So basically clearing 15.45, 15.4 millimeters, something like that. Okay, so now let's see what the Enduro 24 will do. You can see that big pumpkin on the front, the difference in the size of that and the clearance. So 10.21, it's basically 5 millimeters difference, which is quite a bit for the size of these trucks. Width of the truck is about 98. C10 is just a hair wider, 99.89 length. Do wheelbase center to center here. $135.93. $128.9. So C10's the wheelbase is actually quite a bit longer. Didn't really realize that much. With the body and the bumper, it's about the same size as far as the body goes. But the detail on these is just, I mean, you got your chrome bumper, spot for the license plate, whereas this is just plastic built in. It's not even a separate bumper. So they both have their pros and cons. So like I said, my main goal is to try to find some of the good on the Element, because, you know, I didn't mean to just destroy it. But I'm not happy with the quality of it. I guess I was just expecting it to be another SCX24, and it's not. It's just in a lower league. Like I said, it's good out of the box, but it's not very customizable. So out of the box, they're pretty similar. This actually performed a little bit better. I really believe it was the tires for the most part. So it kind of just depends. If you'd rather get this and have better stock tires and just stay with that stock truck, you may be better off here. If you want to start modding and customizing and going with more power and that sort of thing, definitely C10. I just can't get over the looks. I mean, they didn't even care enough to. They put this big gaudy sticker on the bumper, like, whatever, we don't care. It's just crazy to me. Anyways, there are some positives to this truck. So, you know, I don't want to just down it all the time. The steering seems pretty good out of the box. Very much comparable to the SCX24. Servo in these normally don't last real long. And the steering links aren't all that great. So normally that's one of the first things I change out. Don't know about the servo, haven't ran it long enough, but it does okay. So maybe it'll last. If so, then that may be another positive to this truck. But overall, I just prefer the C10 with the bearings, metal gears, hex screws, way better looking body. Just needs a little bit of customization out of the box to be much better. Some tires, really some tires, I think would put it right in line with this. So it's kind of a toss-up. Would you rather get this and just go, or get this and be almost as well off? Not quite. This climbed quite a bit better on the slope, but I really believe it's the tires. So that's your decision. Overall, pretty comparable out of the box. I touched on the remotes just a little bit. This one has, it's not a bad little remote. It's pretty neat how it pops apart somehow. I don't even remember now. So it comes apart. I guess probably be a lot easier to pack in a little bag or something. So that's pretty cool. I feel like they could have taken this truck and really did a lot with it. That's kind of why I'm just upset with it, because it just needs a few things here and there and it could be really good. But they really put no effort into it. They just took a Chinese brand truck and slapped their name on it and let it ride. So I don't know, but out of the box, it's actually pretty good. So what do you guys think? What else would you like to see? Let me know. Appreciate everybody watching. Peace.